Welcome to the end of the year. The end of 23 is upon us, and we're going to be hitting 24. 2024. Wow, where did that year go? I've got a task, a couple of assignments for you guys today live. If you don't mind sharing, let's make a New Year's wish. Type it in the chat. Let me know what your musical wish is for 2024. I always do this every year. And since I started SongTown, I made this commitment that I was no longer going to wish my New Year's wish on myself. I was going to wish it on SongTown members. And my wish for 2024 for you is that you find your individual voice as a writer. And if you have a strong voice already, I hope that you develop it even further. And the reason why, someone was asking me the other day, they were like, well, how did you get your first publishing deal? And I picked up the phone and I called my first publisher. And, this was many years ago. And I said to him, why did you sign me as a writer? And he didn't hesitate. He said, you had a unique voice. It kind of caught me by surprise. It wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting, Mark Bright, he's produced Shakira, he's produced Carrie Underwood, written hits himself. I was thinking, he'd say, well, I thought, I could take you as an artist and we could have some hit songs, anything. I thought he was going to lean towards that commercial thing. And he said, no, it was because you had a unique voice, unique perspective on the world. I got more curious, so I called up my second publisher, Clay Myers, and I said, Clay, why did you sign me, to my second publishing deal? At that point, I had lost my first publishing deal after a couple years, and I said, why did you sign me? I still had not had any hits, and he said, because you were different. And, that really struck with me because often as aspiring writers, we look at people that have had more success than us, and we're going, okay, I need to copy what they're doing. And we forget that that's where that person is now is not how they got there. And so what we need to do when we're starting out trying to prove ourselves, in the world of songwriting or whatever you're doing, we need to look at people at how they started. What did they do in the beginning? Because you could look at me, I've got like a studio full of equipment, and you might go, well, gosh, I can't afford to buy all that equipment, and I couldn't either when I started. I had a guitar when I started, and $300 in my pocket. So I think we sometimes get caught up in this social media world of looking where someone is and going, that's what we need to be doing, when in fact we need to be doing what they were doing in the beginning of their career, how they got started, how did they turn the tide. So for me, and I know Marty will tell you the same thing, most of my friends will tell you, it's because they had developed their own unique voice. And I don't mean singing voice. I mean your writing style. You write and you see the world in a way that's a little different, And so I want to help you guys this year, and that's the commitment I'm making to you at SongTown this year, is I'm going to help you do that. Everything I do this year is going to be geared towards helping you become the best version of you that you can become, helping you develop your own sound. Like I said, if you have your own sound, developing it further. But what we need to do is figure out as writers constantly, we need to figure this out. Where does my voice that's unique to me fit into this marketplace? If that's your goal, if you're trying to get songs on artist albums, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to figure out, where does my voice fit in the conversation? And I think if we take it from that perspective, we'll get a lot farther. Okay, I know I've been talking. I want to read some comments here. or let's see, Endless Sky. My wish would be to figure out how to make people feel my music. Yes, Joe, that's awesome. Um, and there's a couple ways of doing that. Marty and I approach it a little differently in our classes, but in fact, next year we have a course we're going to do called Adding More Heart to Your Songs. And that's exactly what we're talking at, because sometimes we feel when we're writing, we feel it, and we go on stage and we sing a song and we're crying inside or we're about to burst out in tears, but the audience isn't feeling it. And so that's a great wish, is how do you make people feel? How do you communicate what you're feeling and make people feel that same thing, or invite them to feel that? And we could talk a whole hour about ways to do that, but just quickly, killers. If you write a good song, but it's not touching people, 9 times out of 10, there are some technical things wrong with that song that are getting in the way of the emotion. The other side of it is you haven't communicated very well, and so you need to learn to be a better communicator. So that's if you are a good communicator, but you've got some technical issues wrong with your song, that'll shut you down. But you could have every technical thing right from a technique standpoint and still not have that heart in the song of being able to communicate. So I think there's 2 different sides of that. Let's see here, Diane. Good to see you, Diane. Believe in the possibilities and that I already have what it takes to connect with publishers and audiences with my songs. Yes. I never look at it from a standpoint of, do I have what it takes? Like, that doesn't ever enter my mind. It did early on, but somebody told me, it's like, you got to put blinders on and you have to work and just grind it out. And my focus is more on constantly getting better. I would say 99% of my focus is waking up each day going, how can I write a better song today? Because ultimately, if you blow people away with your songs, they're going to want to be a part of that good song train that you got going there. So yes, believe in the possibilities. Chris Stapleton, one time we were working out at the gym and we were talking about something and I was talking about belief and he goes, yes. He goes, belief is a powerful thing. And of course, the way he said it, it just like stuck in my mind, because not only is he a good writer, but he has a way of saying things with such conviction. And I think that's what you're talking about, Diane, is believe in the possibilities. Belief, is conviction. It's knowing in your bones that something is right. And I think that if I say anything about Chris Stapleton, what I got from hanging out with him, we used to write the same publishing company. It was just that conviction that he had, Let's see, Renee, goal wishes to play an open mic. Yes, in Nashville. Come on, we want you. Come play. I deal with shyness and it's not easy. Hey, a friend of mine, Rory Burke, he was the first Hall of Fame songwriter to ever sit down and write a song with me. If you could hear him play and sing at writers' nights, he is not a performer. He's not a singer. But man, he gets up there and he sings with all his heart, and the crowd knows his songs, so they sing along. They're just great songs. But he's not going to be somebody that sits there and wows you, But he's in the Hall of Fame. Mac McAnally said one time, he goes, I've learned to do the best with my God-given limitations. We all have limitations. And what we do with those limitations, that's our voice. That decides our future. It's our vehicle. It's not our talents, it's our limitations and how we work with those and how we figure out how to use our limitations to the best of our abilities and to get around them. Okay, Sandra. Focus on artists who take outside cuts. Yeah, if you're writing, target artists who do cut outside songs. Make sure that those are what you're aiming for. But also try to find younger artists that are coming up that you can write with. I think that's the two-pronged approach. Like Sarah Davis and the artist Gail. They met at a SongTown birthday bash. They started writing together and they came up together. So many times it happens that people come up together rather than you getting your song to a hit artist. Now that can happen too. I had my first big cut on a major artist, so that can happen as well. But I think I would focus on both if I were you. Say, Josh, I hope to get better at finishing a song in a single session. You know, that is a goal, but to me, the ultimate goal, Josh, is a song takes as long as it takes. My first number one, Beautiful Mess, took us at least 3 writing sessions. If we had just banged it out in one day, it never would have been the same song. It took us 3 writing sessions to figure out how to best write it. I got an ASCAP check this week. After 21 years of that song playing on radio, it still makes the writers tens of thousands of dollars a year. That would not have happened, I believe, if we had finished that song in one day. Now, I have had songs like Don't Think I Don't Think About It with Darius, History in the Making with Darius. Those songs were written in an afternoon. So I've had it both ways, but I just think it's important, especially when you're starting. The goal is not how fast you finish. The goal is how long does it take you to come up with a killer song that's going to change your life? Because that's what we want to do. The goal is to write that song that's going to change your life. If it were me, I would be digging for the best title, the most unique title I could come up with, then figuring out a unique angle on that title. And if you have to come back a second time or a third time or fourth time, it doesn't matter. The goal is to write that song that's going to change your life. Michael, write better melodic and lyric hooks. Yes. And I promise you, I know I said we were going to talk today on some techniques about writing hookier melodies, and we're going to do that. But I just wanted to first talk about a few things to get everyone's mind right for next year, to get us in that pro mindset of how we can best attack the new year. And you guys got great goals here. Alicia, join an Edge group, do more co-writes, make connections in SongTown. Yes, Edge groups are great, Alicia, because you will make contacts over the course of the year. You'll be working with 4 different publishers. You'll have other people in your Edge group that are serious writers that you can co-write with. So I think that would be a great step, and you're a good writer, so I think you'll do well in it. Let's see, one more, Heidi. Make each song my next best song. Yes, I love it. Every day I try to write a better song than the day before. And to know when the song is really finished, get a contract or a cut. Yeah, let's get that cut. And we talked about this, write songs that have more heart, not just clever. I would say 99% of the time that heart beats clever. And I know everybody has a different idea about what clever is, but oftentimes as songwriters, when we get too clever, it takes away the heart and the emotion of the song, and it makes it feel written. And that's what we don't want as writers, is a song to feel like it was expertly or cleverly written. We want a song to always feel like it's a real conversation between the singer and whoever he's singing to or she's singing to. So great goals. Okay. I saw on YouTube the other day, one of my favorite photographers, he had this list, and this made so much sense to me. Getting back to what works for a writer early in their career when they're trying to break through. If you look on the left side that left column, it starts with passion. And I think most of us have a passion, for what we're doing, or we wouldn't be doing it. But passion, if you stay focused on the passion, you have fun, you're going to feel happier, and money is a byproduct of that when you do those other things well. If you start out and your biggest concern, we have SongTown members that join and they're going, well, I'm giving myself a year. If I'm not making a living in a year off of my songs, then I'm going to go back to my job. And starting with money as your focus is going to lead to stress. It's not going to be fun, and it's going to kill that passion. And what I mean by that is if your sole focus is to wake up each day, or if you take my master class and your goal is I'm going to write commercial songs and, so I can get cuts. And if that's your main focus, it's going to be hard to break through. What I encourage you to do, and what I encourage writers in my masterclass to do every January, is when you are searching for techniques, look for things that resonate inside of you. Don't force feed yourself something someone else is doing and go, well, I need to do that because that's what commercial is. If you are force feeding, techniques and styles and genres into your system, it's not going to work. But what I encourage you to do is if you hear something in a song that someone's doing, a technique they're doing, and you like it, then put that into your music. Always come at it from your passion side. Never force feed something you don't like. What I encourage you to do even further is, even if it's music you don't like, is there something in there that they're doing in that song that you do like, that you can use? Because I don't even want to be in a dentist office and have a song playing and I've wasted that 3 minutes of listening to the song. I want to hear that and go, oh, that's cool. I like how they do that with the melody on the chorus where they do that little trick. I'm going to try something like that in my next song. Then I've gotten something positive out of that experience. So every minute I'm hearing music, I can try to find something positive, or I can go, oh, I hate that. Turn that crap off. That's the choice we make. Always focus on passion. I can say 100% that every songwriter I know, when I was starting, when Marty was starting, Jason Duke, all of our friends that we turn you guys on to at SongTown, Marty Jane, we don't show up at a writing session going, okay, how can we write a commercial hit song today? We show up wanting to write an idea that we're passionate about, explore a chord progression we're passionate about, a groove. We always have something that excites us, because without that excitement, the audience is never going to buy it, and I think a lot of people think, oh, those hit writers, they were just painting by numbers and doing, that's not what happens. I've been in thousands of rooms with hit artists, hit producers, hit writers. No one's ever said to me, oh, let's do this because it's a hit and I got to write a hit today. And I mean, yeah, you'd like to write a hit, but the focus in the writing room is on, what am I excited about? If I have a great title, I can't wait to share that with my co-writer that day. And so you can't force what you're into, but you can figure out, how can I take what I like and put that into the conversation? Did I miss anybody? Peter, the fusion of uniqueness and the marketplace. Yes, it's finding how to use your voice in the conversation, in the public conversation. And I think that's entirely possible for anyone if you're open, if you're learning, getting better every day. Let's talk about melody. To me, a melody pulls you in and the lyrics take you to a deeper place. Think of how many songs you can hum the melody, but you don't exactly remember all the lyrics. The melody is the easiest thing to remember. So I'm going to be damn sure I have a melody that is hooky, that is memorable and pulls people in. If I have a 10-note melody line, 10 syllables, there are just an unbelievable amount of lyrics and words that can mean the same thing. I could write 15 different lines over those syllables and every line would mean the same thing. But if I've destroyed the melody integrity because I don't really want to dig deeper on the lyric, then I don't think we're not going to pull people in and they're not going to get to the lyric. So that's just my way of approaching it. And of course, there are exceptions. If you're writing a song where you're just telling a story, but gosh, even Bob Dylan used tight rhythmic patterns in a lot of his stuff, and he was the ultimate just storyteller writer. So yeah, and even hip hop, it's all based around rhythmic hooks. I just think for me, having that hooky melody is gonna be key to starting. And then if I need to keep digging on the lyric to find a different word here or a different word there, then I'm going to do that rather than destroy the foundation of that song. Because, I mean, let's be honest, you can have a hit tune. There have been songs go to #1 on the pop charts in years past that were instrumentals that had no lyric at all because they had a hooky melody. So to me, the foundation is that hooky melody with that lyric that takes you to a deeper place. To me, that's the ultimate. Kevin says, I like when a melody idea that surprises me with its uniqueness. Yes, and that's part of developing your own voice and hearing melodies rather than thinking melodies. I like to call it my auralect rather than my intellect. I want to hear melodies, try to figure out where my ear is going. Now, my ear doesn't always take me to that magical place, If I'm writing a song and the melody's not going anywhere magical, I'm going to keep digging on that melody until I find something that's unique. Okay, so I thought would be fun. Let's just construct like what a hooky melody would be from this title. Let's see here. I'm going to come up with So let's just say if I'm playing, if you and I were in a writing session, and the first thing I'm going to do, I had this title in my book. I think originally it was My Side of Goodbye, but for this I want to keep that title and I was going to use Other Side of Goodbye. Maybe we could do what I want you guys to do is I'm going to create a musical hook for the first line and see if you can come up, throw some lines in the chat. See if you could come up. What I want to do with the second line of this chorus is to come up with another way of saying here on the other side of goodbye. If I here on the other side, I like that. Here on the other side. The idea I'm thinking is this girl's across town in the arms of someone else after they broke up. And maybe the verse is all about what she's doing, but his chorus where he sings, yeah, but here on the other side of goodbye, here on my side of goodbye, the other side of goodbye. She's on one side of goodbye, he's on the other. So what could we do here on the other side of goodbye? I want to keep that here on the other side. I want to keep those syllables the same because that's hooky to me. Here on the other side of goodbye. Here on the other side. Throw me some lines. Come on. We got some good lyric writers here. I'm mixing bourbon with... Rick threw out a line. I like some of what you're saying here, Rick, regrets mixed with bourbon, but regrets mixed with bourbon. It doesn't really sing like, here on the other side of goodbye. So maybe we could take that and change it up. Here on the other side of goodbye, I'm mixing bourbon with regret. I have now syllables. I've taken your line and flipped it around. I'm mixing bourbon with regret. I like that. See how I made it sing? Do, 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 do. I'm mixing bourbon. If I tried to force your lyric onto this melody, we'd have to change the melody. It would have to be like, here on the other side of goodbye. Your line, regrets mixed with bourbon. And so that just kind of takes the energy level down for the top of a chorus. So if I do take your idea and change the words up so that it sings to my melody, here on the other side of goodbye, I'm mixing bourbon with regret. This on the down, turn them down, turn them down, you left. And I'm on the other side. Okay, now we need lines that go somewhere else. To the side, to the bed, to the sun, but I let tonight. Might even do a different chord change. You're on the other side of goodbye. Okay, let's see what we got here. So I'm thinking, we've got two lines that are basically a lot alike. Let's create now 3/4 of the way through the chorus, another hooky pattern. Da, 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 da. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, da, da, da. So, some lyrical geniuses out there. What you got for me? Da, 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 da. I'll be feeling alone for the sun since you're gone. Yeah, so Tranel was saying like, I'll be feeling alone for the sun. Yeah, something like that I could take. In the dark, in this bar, got so far, but I know this time. I like Rick, you're saying some stuff about running through my mind. All the words, all the hurt, all the sound running through my mind. Every word, every word like a curse on the sing running through my mind. You're on the other. And I like to go back to the original melody at the end, just so we're hearing that. We hear that 3 times in that chorus, and then it's obvious that it's a hook. Every word like a curse running, playing on through my. Every word like a curse running, playing non-stop. And every word like a curse running, playing non-stop in my mind. It'd be neat if we had every word like a curse. It would be neat to have another 3. Every word like a curse and it's certain on my mind. And I'm also trying to end, guys, on something that's going to rhyme with I. Tonight. So we can get to here on the other side. So we're going to end this line with an I rhyme. So that will get us to rhyme with here on the other side. You know, So we don't really have to put too much of her in this chorus. Every word like a curse can't escape on this hurt too. That's closer, Alicia. So, escape how it hurts tonight. Yeah, see how that sings right? Every word like a curse can't escape how it hurts tonight. Oh, and I love how you've rhymed it hurts with every word like a curse can't escape how it hurts tonight. I mean, that's some pretty sophisticated rhyme scheme because that's going to come back. I like that. Let me write that. You know what I was doing during typing class in high school? Yes, we used to have typing class back in high school. I was daydreaming and writing songs. That is no lie. So as a result, I became a songwriter, not a typist. You're on the other side of goodbye. I'm mixing bourbon with regret. Every word like a curse can't escape how it hurts tonight. Here on the other side, can't escape how it hurts tonight. 'Cause you're there, and I'm on the other, and I'm here on. Yeah, I don't know. I like that. The only thing, does it bother you guys that we don't rhyme goodbye at the top? Like here on the other side of goodbye, I'm mixing bourbon with regret. I just got to try it because I want to see how it sounds to my ear. But here on the other side of goodbye, I'm mixing done with my wine. Like you could have a line that ended with an I sound. I think it's all right though. Usually I like mixing bourbon with regret. The other thing we could do, is see how in the first line we got other side goodbye. There's an inner rhyme in that line. You know, you could have done something like, I'm mixing bourbon with the hurtin'. So you would get like, that line would rhyme with itself, bourbon and hurtin'. That's just all things as I'm writing. I'm going, okay, how many different ways can I add hookiness? Can I make the melody the same like we've done on the first two lines with tight rhythm pattern, hooky rhythm pattern? How do I do the rhyme? You know, can I get inner rhymes inside those lines? Every word like a curse can escape how it hurts tonight. Here on the other side of goodbye. And you could turn that into a post-chorus. Here on the other side, the other side of goodbye. Here on the other side, the other side of goodbye. So then you could totally have a post-chorus, which would add a little bit more hookiness to it. So see kind of what I'm driving at. I'm pulling for rhythm patterns that are hooky, rhyming patterns that are hooky. Can I have repeated words like with that post-chorus where you're just repeating a phrase more than once? All these things add to the hookiness of it. I think the trick with this is to stay away from clever, stay real, and I think the melody really gets the feeling across. I'm picturing this guy hurting a little bit, you know, it makes me feel that. I think the melody matches up well. So, tell me, give me some questions. You could also do, instead of doing the melody the same on the first two lines, you could go, here on the other side of goodbye, I'm mixing bourbon with regret. And then go back to the original melody. Dun, 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 dun. here on the losing end of Friday night, or whatever it is. Here on the losing end of something that rhymes with I. So, yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of possibilities. It's kind of in the room when you're writing what turns you on at that moment. And then I like to step back. Say you write a verse and a chorus, and then I like to step back and go, okay, how can we improve this? Is everything feeling right? And it's not so much like, how can we improve it? I'm more or less just looking, does something feel not quite right? And I want to keep working at it until it all feels kosher to me. How about the last line rhyming with regret? Yes, you could do that too. And I thought, to bed. Like you could put it, under words like a curse that I can't put to bed tonight. Here on the other side. Like you could put the et rhyme there. And then tack, a little I sound right after. It can't put, and this is just totally throwing out nonsense words, but, that I can't put to bed tonight. So that you get that ed rhyme, then you stick the word tonight on the end of it, which sets you up for a rhyme for the title after that. Yeah, good stuff, y'all. I'm excited. I'm excited about this new year. I want you guys to write your best songs. January and February, SongTown, we have master classes going on. So if you want to apply for that, if you hadn't got the email, just hit me up, Clay at SongTown, and I will direct you to that page where you could check out the master classes. Those are really cool because what I try to do in my melody masterclass is to get you in the habit of teaching yourself. I totally shake up how you listen to music and get you in the habit of finding, when you listen to music, finding techniques that you can pull out and use yourself in your own songs so that long after my class is over, you're taking these techniques and you're growing and growing daily as a writer rather than having to wait for someone to show you. I would never want to just show someone techniques and say, do that. Like, it's more about learning to teach yourself, find the techniques that you like, that turn you on, use them in your songs, and keep you excited. All right, y'all, have a great new year. If you got any questions, just hit me up, Clay at SongTown. I'm always happy to help. Hope you have a great rest of your 2023. We're going to be out of here soon. Okay, y'all. Cheers.